Hi friends, it's Tuesday. You caught me off guard. How you doing today? How was your week? How was your 4th of July? I know some of you guys celebrated with your family and were up and about. I was home, being quiet, meditating, doing some stuff. But nonetheless, I am so happy that you're here with me today. So what are we going to be talking about today is self-confidence, right? A lot of us, well, not a lot of us, all of us, we love ourselves, don't we? I know I love myself. I know you love yourself. And I know you're working into improving your life and becoming a diamond in whichever aspect of life you want to be. But sometimes we do struggle with self-confidence, right? And you might ask yourself, well, what do you mean about self-confidence, right? Because there's different, people have different opinions about self-confidence. But to me, self-confidence is an attitude. You know, it's how you feel about yourself, how you feel about a particular ability, you know, your abilities to do certain things, right? Because self-esteem is you love yourself, you feel good about yourself, but the confidence is being able to feel that you could do certain things. Like we've been speaking along the previous weeks, you know, if you want to be the best teacher, the best business owner, the best housewife, the best mother, you know, that you have confidence and you can do certain things, correct? But the bottom line is that you got to have that attitude to say that I'm able to do certain things. So I'm able to do specific things, let's put it that way, right? Because you're on your day-to-day life, you're doing stuff all the time. You know, how did you get to this point? You know, how do you learn to drive? How do you know, graduate from school? All of that, you had confident on doing certain things you were doing. But let's say now you have come to a crossroads and you're like, okay, I don't know whether to do it or not. Why? Because you're not confident enough or confident enough to do it, right? That's where self-confidence comes in, where you know about that you're able to have certain abilities for a specific thing, right? Now you might say, oh yeah, you know, this person is confident, that person got a lot of self-confidence, but guess what? No one is born with this huge, great confidence, right? You might see public speakers, business owners, you know, these people have worked hard for years behind the scenes. It could be, like I mentioned, a teacher, whoever, they have worked very hard behind the scenes to now come across with all that confidence, correct? Now, we're not talking about being arrogant or anything like that. We're talking about being sure that you are able to do, you know, about your abilities, your certain abilities that you have concerning certain things, right? So now, if you have self-confidence, let me give you some of the pros of having self-confidence. First of all, it allows you to experience freedom from that self-doubt. You know what it is to every day go day by day and knowing that you know that you know that you're able to do certain things, whatever it is that you know in your path, whatever it is you want to do. Also, self-confidence it helps you to be more willing to take smart risks, right? To make smart decisions, and it helps you also, guess what, to walk outside your comfort zone, right? We spoke about the box last week, but then we realized there's no box, but we still stay in that area. Well, a lot of times is because we're not confident, right? We don't have that self-confidence to say, I'm able to do that particular thing, although you see endless of people doing it already, right? So like I mentioned, nobody is born with limitless self-confidence. You know, there's a lot of self-help books that help us in this area. And, you know, it takes work, right? And the reason I tell you is because I've been there, done that, you know, and there's still areas in my life that I might feel not, I don't want to say afraid, but don't have confidence enough to embark in that path, right? So that's why self-confidence is so important. Self-confidence has to do with self. That's why it says self. It doesn't have to do with what other people think about yourself. What other people think about you. It has to do with what you think about you and how strong you feel you are in a particular aspect. As usual, at the end of the video, I'm going to go ahead and put some books on the comments that has helped me, and I'm sure will help you, could help your teenagers. But here we're talking about self, right? So now, like I mentioned, having low self-confidence, right, keeps you back from doing things, right? Having low self-confidence is like looking at a broken mirror, right? We're trying to see yourself, right? And what I wanted to do is actually give you a couple of suggestions of what we can do to maybe boost our self-confidence. Number one, I would say, visualize yourself to where you want to be or what you want to do, right? If you want to be here, you have to see yourself there first, correct? And then you start working on your self-confidence, right? Next thing that you could do is your positive affirmations, right? We've spoken about that several times, right? You speak of what is not here as if it is, right? And believe it or not, I have suffered with low self-confidence. I remember in my younger years, because I have a lisp, so I thought, well, people don't want to hear me. People don't like how I talk. But all of that, it was because I wasn't liking it. Nobody ever told me, but I didn't like how I sound. I didn't like my lisp. I didn't like my tone of voice. I didn't think I had anything to say, regardless of the topic. Correct, whether I was an expert in the topic or not. That's how I felt. So I had to read a lot and work hard on building my self-confidence. One thing we also want to do is mingle or be around people that are self-confident and learn from them, right? And people that are self-confident, the right self-confidence, we're not talking about being arrogant, right? They don't mind helping you. They don't mind assisting you, giving you tips. That's how I have been able to work on my confidence, is talking to people that are already there, and see which path they take, not on what they're on their final destination, but the journey. Correct? Remember, the principles are the same no matter what you're doing. Whether you want to be a teacher, chef, a singer, a musician, whatever your profession is, you want to be a business owner, the principles are the same. It's the journey, the hard work, the researching, all that kind of stuff is the same thing. The thing is that all of us are going to different places. Something else that I wanted to advise also is help somebody else to win. That will boost your self-confidence, right? Because we're, as human beings, we always want to be helping other people and sometimes don't help ourselves. But if you help somebody else to win, that gives you confidence, trust me. It definitely gives you confidence. Also, position yourself to win, right? If you want to be the best at something, right, you have to start. Like we spoke the other day, you have to start today where you at today to accomplish where you're going. Again, like if I'm in Georgia and I want to go to Miami, right, I have to start that route, right? Another thing that I wanted to advise also is sometimes we have to question our inner critic. I mentioned just a couple of moments ago, I used to be criticizing myself all the time. That inner voice was telling me all the time, people don't want to hear you. You have a Spanish accent, or you have this kind of accent, you have a lisp, your voice is too strong. So you have to question sometimes that inner voice that doesn't let you move forward. Next thing that you might want to do, right, on a daily basis is do something that scares you. If you're afraid of doing something that has to do with your ultimate destination, to your final destination, every day do something that you're afraid to do, right? I'm not telling you to go on bungee jump or skydiving or roller coaster. You know, we're not talking about that. We're talking about your self-confidence. We're talking about your attitude. We're talking about what to do to come out of your comfort zone, correct? Now, one book that helped me a lot many years ago, and it's a good read because it's a self-help book. I know a lot of people feel like, you know, these books are fluff, but trust me, anybody that is anybody in the top of their field, if you ask them, you know what they'll tell you? They take time for themselves and they read. Now I'm talking to you because you are a diamond and you want to accomplish or get to your final destination, whatever it is, right? That means you're going to be a diamond. And the reason I use diamond, because a diamond comes from a coal that withheld all that pressure and became a diamond, right? So you as an individual, you have to withhold all this pressure from society, family, boss, health, physical or emotional. All of that you have to withhold on a daily basis. You have to go through. You go under through all this pressure. Right now, what we're going through in the whole world, you have to go through all of this to get to your final destination. So to me, that's like a diamond. You know, I'm not in that field, correct? But trust me, I love diamonds, right? All the girls that are listening to me, we all love diamonds. I mean, some of us rather ruby or other stones, but the point is that pressure that you have to stand to become something beautiful at the end, correct? So the book that I was mentioning about is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And that book to me was golden, because you might tell yourself, or we might tell ourselves, well, I have friends. I know, you know, I know so many people. Why am I going to read a book to help me meet people? But the key is not to meet people. The key is how to, it'll help you see yourself as how you are, right? So now if you want to, you have an ultimate destination, you have a final destination, you want to be a chef, whatever, any profession, business owner, even at home, you want to influence your kids. Now, we're not talking bad influence. We're talking about being a positive influence to your children, to your co-workers, to your clients, right? We're here on this earth to do good for one another. It's a human race, right? So this book kind of like opens you, opens your mind and helps you be the best you. Another book that I wanted to advise also is The 7 Habits of highly effective people. And with that one, there's one called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, I think it is. And my daughter could tell you about it. She read that book in her younger years, and I think it's teens, but it's a good read now that the kids are home, and take them off the TV and the games and position them to win from young. Some of them might not even know what they want to be as they grow, as they go to school, as they go to college, whatever it is that they're going to do. But again, like I always say, the principles are the same, right? Whether you want to be a doctor, the principles are the same. Whether you want to be a musician, the principles are the same. So that's why these self-help books that I am encouraging you to look for are very important. Now, nowadays, people don't really pick up a book, but guess what? We have Audible. We have books on PDF. You don't even have to buy it. Some of them are free. And what I would suggest is put it on Audible when you go to bed instead of the TV. And all of that will be absorbing while you're sleeping. Then you have to put it over and over because you're going to miss some of the parts because you're going to go into that deep sleep. But I rather you listen to that than having the news on to whatever hours in the night, or instead of having the news 5 o'clock in the morning when you get up 6 o'clock in the morning to listen to negative news, listen to some positive affirmation or positive information to help you obtain what you want to obtain. Another book that I want to suggest is Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm sorry, not Robert Kiyosaki, Napoleon Hill. Oh my goodness, that's a big mistake right there. And the title is the most important part. Think, and then everything else, will come about. A lot of times we just do things without giving it some thought. Now we're talking about self-confidence, right? There's this one book called Awaken the Giant Within, by Tony Robbins. Everybody know who's Tony Robbins. There's another book called Fail Forward by John Maxwell. Don't worry about writing them down. I'm going to put it in the comments. And then you pick which one it's calls you, which one you feel is going to help you to build that self-confidence. Yes, Sarah mentioned the 7 Habits of a Highly Effective Teen by Sean Covey. And then the 7 Habits by Highly Effective People, it's by Stephen Covey. But whichever one, they're both good, correct? Again, talking about self-confidence. One thing that also we can do, it's which one of my coaches will tell you, set yourself for rejection, and that will build your confidence. Right? We don't like to hear no. Right? I'm not saying to do things that you don't know how to do so that you could get a no. What I'm saying is do what you want to do, what you know that you're good at, but you're afraid to do. And let the people say no. But guess what? That's going to make you stronger, because they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves because they don't want to do what you want to do. It's not about you. But guess what? The more you hear no, the stronger you get. One example I could give you, it's a little kid. How many times a child asks you, Mommy, can I do this? And you say no. Let me wait. How many times? Put it in the comments. Children, they're very self-confident. They'll ask you 100 times. I see a few parents joining us at this time. Mommy, can I have ice cream? And you're going to say no. Mommy, can I have ice cream? You're going to say no. But guess what? They know that if they persist, they're going to get that ice cream. Most of the time. Sometimes, we're a little strong and we don't. But the thing is, that child has that confidence to say, Mommy's going to give me ice cream because I'm asking and I want it, I'm going to get it. You follow what I mean? But guess what happens? As we grow old, as we grow up, not old, sorry. As we grow up, again, life beats us. Our society, our jobs, it starts beating us. And then we start losing that self-confidence because we're afraid of the rejection. We are afraid to hear no. We are afraid to fail. But if you start working or continue working on your self-confidence, because I know a lot of us, that's why we listen to motivational speakers and are always searching to improve. So that means we're halfway there, a quarter there, 3/4 there. Some of us are just one push away from what we want to do or what we want to accomplish. But that self-confidence, that self-esteem is very important. Again, that self-love we have all the time. But do we have the attitude? Are we certain that we know that we're going to accomplish something? And unless you have that confidence, you won't take that risk, that good risk, not a bad risk, that good risk to go ahead and walk outside your comfort zone. And I know some of us might say, well, I want to do something outside my comfort zone, but I don't have the time. But guess what? All of us have 24 hours. And there's hours for sleeping, there's hours for working, there's hours for eating, talking to our family, and we still have time left. But we don't want to come out of that comfort zone. Let me challenge you. Let me put this challenge out there. I want you, when you get a chance today, not tomorrow, not next week, You're going to write down how many hours you sleep, how many hours you work. Like if you have to go out to work, if it's 8 hours and your transportation time, back and forth, how much time do you spend eating? How much time you spend watching TV, right? And I bet you, I guarantee you, I don't bet, but I guarantee you that you'll have a couple hours left to work on self, right? Your self-confidence, confidence, and whatever it is that you want to accomplish, or your ultimate destination, or your final destination. I love to hear that, right? So let's do that challenge, and then come on back and put it in the comments. How much time do you have left to work on self on a daily? It could be half hour. We're not saying that you need to, a whole 8 hours. We have things to do. It could be half hour to work on self, man or woman. It could be an hour a day, right? If you sleep 10 hours, okay, start sleeping 9. If you sleep 8, start sleeping 7. I sleep much less than that, but but I have time to work on self, right? Either by audio or reading or motivational video. You don't have to watch the most motivational video. You have to listen, and that's what helps you work on self. It's very important. I mean, self-confidence to me is so important, and the reason why it's so important, because I had so much challenge with it when I was growing up. I grew up in an environment that everybody was very confident, but I was very shy. Not shy to talk, but shy to do. And like we've mentioned before, you are an example to everybody. Now, you accomplishing your goal is going to help somebody else accomplish theirs, even if it's not the same thing. But they're going to say, or they're going to feel that it can be done, because if you could do it, they could do it. So, that's why everything is everything is so important. This goes with this, that goes with that. Everything. Everybody's independent, but we're interdependent, meaning that we need each other. So me seeing that you're a housewife, that you work, you take care of your husband, you have a job, and you have your side hustle or your side business or your side job, makes me feel that I could do it too. You see how important that is? Me seeing that you're so confident, right? And doing things, accomplishing things. It could take you 5 years, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months. Hopefully not 50 years. But me seeing that gives me confidence that I can accomplish what I want to do. So you see what's so important? Why is it so important for you to be self-confident? So that you could help the fellow man. We always boil down to the same. We get back to the same topic, helping fellow man. Because why? We're all humans, one human race, all created equal, even though we're not the same. You think that makes sense? Anyway, if the information I have shared today has helped you, click like, click on notifications for the next time that I'm live. You could get notified. Share the video with somebody that you might feel might enjoy the information, but not so much enjoy, help them be self-confident. And again, thank you for joining me. I love you guys. Remember, you're a diamond. See you next time on Tuesday Talk.